Hi, Amanda here from Patchwork and Papercraft, and today I'm going to be making Easter cards. Now I know it's a little bit early for Easter cards, but these ones I want to give to the local vicar, you know, so that she can hand them out. And so obviously I need to make them fairly early so that she's got them in plenty of time. So what I've done is I've taken ordinary cardstock, this is quite good quality cardstock, and I've cut out pieces that are 4 inches by 8, folded them in the middle, and I've got little 4x4 cards. Then I took some papers that I had, just generic, simple, floppy, you know, they're not thick cardstock, it's just ordinary paper from various places, and I've cut these into 3.5 by 3.5 or 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, that sort of size squares. So now all I've got to do is glue those onto these and then add some ephemera. Now the thing is, I don't actually have any ephemera to add. So that's what I've got to do with all 30 cards. I've just got to add the papers, and there's a few that I've already done. And then when I've done that, as I say, I'm going to need ephemera. So, different types of ephemera. Well, in some card packs you get ready-made ephemera, like this, that you just poke out, get your card base and stick it on, either with glue or with a foam pad. And I've got an example of one of those here, slightly more ornate one. This one's a 3D one on a piece of paper. This is basic ephemera. Or the next one you could use is this sort of thing. This is a sheet that came on a paper pad and you cut them out and use them. Same idea, you cut them out, stick them straight on. But if you haven't got any of that sort of thing, you've actually got to make your own, and that's what we're doing today. So the very first one we're going to do uses a stencil, and here's some paper. There's my stencil, and you line it up so it's nice and straight, because if it isn't straight you might not get a very good result. Draw around your main part of your stencil, and just colour it in. Or of course you can do the whole thing in one go by placing it into position. This is a what do they call these? Alcohol pen. Sorry, mine just went then for a moment, using the fine line. That's what it looks like in pencil. If I line this back up again and go over it in alcohol marker or felt tip or pencil, crayon I suppose if you had one thin enough. See what this paper's like. As I suspected, it's bleeding a little bit, but if you don't mind that, that's fine. If you do, then the better way to do it would be using pencil. Once you have made your stencil though, you cut it out and stick it on just the same way as before. And in the spirit of Blue Peter, here's one I made earlier. So there's your stenciled cross on a piece of paper, cut out and stuck onto your card front. And I just added some of the little rays afterwards in colour. So that's using a stencil. We don't have any stencils. Okay. If you don't have any stencils, don't worry. You can always use stickers. It's another way of doing it. And this is our stickers that I bought in a packet from Temu. And there's some quite nice ones in here. Let's see, which one shall I use just to show you. Oh, this butterfly I think I picked up in the first place. And all you have to do is get the backing off, which is harder than it looks. There we go, here it goes. There we are. Backing off. Stick it on a piece of card, a bit of scrap card, and then you can cut it out, either fussy cutting it, or you can use a nice round punch. And there we have a nice sticker, ephemera, which we can stick on the front of our card. Stick that one on. Glue. Make sure your card's the right way round. Nice and straightforward little card. Another method, they're getting slightly more difficult now, but don't worry about it, is to use a stamp. Now I found this little chicken, baby chick stamp, and I cut myself out a circle of card, did that a minute ago. So we stick our piece of, well, our stamp onto a block so it's well stuck. I'm going to use VersaFine ink. Collect your ink, line it up, and hold it for a moment to let the ink stick to the page. Lift it up and you should have a good picture. But when you first use these stamps, you don't always get a good picture, so stamp it a few times to get one. Once you've got your picture, you could of course use it like that, or you can colour them in. Now this has only just been stamped, so usually takes a moment to dry, but I think we're okay. There we go. Got to be a little careful with colouring them. I like the effect of the pencil on these rather than the pen. There we go. Then we can grab a base, glue it on. Again, you can use foam squares if you want to give it a bit of lift. They don't have to go in the middle, you could put them off to one side, but I like them in the middle. So there's that one. Next up from stamping is literally piecing. You can make your own ephemera by piecing, and I'm going to show you. This is a pieced piece of ephemera made up of several pieces. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and it's not as difficult as it looks. This is the sizes of all the various pieces you need. So I'm just going to pop down there, and it uses a bit of waste cardstock. Now the largest piece is only 1 3/4 inches. So we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. So we want a piece that's 1 3/4 inches long. A piece of paper card is a little bit too big for this, but it should work. There we go, it's 1 3/4 inches. And we want one piece that's 1 inch. And that makes the bell tower. We want a piece that's 1 1/4 square, so 1¼ by 1¼ and that's going to make the spire that will stand on the top up there. Then and you can make them bigger if you want, but I like just a little bit of an overhang. There we go. Then the next piece is 1¼ by 3/4. So we've got 1¼ by 3/4, which is there. And that is the roof. Whoops, building it sideways. That's going to be the roof, it'll go there. And the last piece is going to be 1 by 3/4. So I'll use this little bit of offcut. 1 by 3/4. This piece, of course, being the smallest bit. There we go. And that's the body of the church. Now, obviously, we need to do something to some of these pieces. Let's move all these bits out of the way. What do we need to do? Well, first of all, we need to deal with this, the spire. And what you do is you cut it a little bit at the bottom, an angle, and then from the top of that little cut up to the center point. And that gives you a shaped roof. You can, of course, just do it in a straight cut if you want. Then we want this piece. This is nice and straightforward. We want to cut it from that corner up. The angle's entirely up to you. Like that. And that is all we have to do. That's our church, effectively. So we take a piece of cardstock and we just glue them onto it. That's all we have to do. Move this a little bit closer to you. So we glue on the tower, and next to that the body of the church. On top of the body of the church you put the roof, like that. If you've made all your cuts straight, they'll all fit together lovely. If you haven't, it doesn't matter if it overlaps slightly, to be honest, depending on who you're giving it to. Some people are very picky, others aren't. Fit that on the top so you've got the little overhang on either side. Okay, now we want to pretty it up a bit, don't we? So we're going to put pan tiles on this one, like that, nice wiggly lines. And I'm sure there's a way that you're supposed to lay them so it's in a proper pattern. I don't know it, so I'll just do them like that. And then across here we're going to have some slates. So we're going to come up here, we're going to draw little lines all the way up, and then we just go like so, and in between those for the next row alternating all the way up. All right, next we want a entry door. Now the door for the front of the church is usually quite large, isn't it? It goes nearly to the roof of the body. Like that. And then we want 2 windows or 3 if you'd rather, but I'll only put in 2. And then we want the bell itself. And then we take our pencils and we do some colouring in, which is easier if I get my pencils. Here we go. So we can have nice red tiled roof. Now I've just gone right over the lines and I don't think it really notices, but if it does, if you're bothered by that, then obviously be a lot more careful. Then the shingle, this roof, pan tile roof, I'm going to do brown. Well, that actually looks a bit more red than it does brown, but the pencil itself says it's brown. Then I'll use a tanny colour. For the walls. And then the door, I shall do in a different brown. Brush colour that in a bit better. Now I'm doing this quite quickly, you can take your time. And it'll be a lot better if you take your time. Okay, then your windows, to emulate stained glass. Put a couple of patches of colour. Different colours. That's red, green. I'm going to put some blue in. Some pinky colour, I think. What other colour shall I use? Purple, why not purple? It just gives the effect of a stained glass. And behind the bell, you want it to be black because, you know, it's deep shadow. As I said, take your time. Don't do it rushed like this. There. And around the door. Give it some door handles. And what else have I got to do? Oh, just that little strip up there. There we go. Now, there's 2 ways you can affix this to your card. If you want, you can, as I did the other one, cut it into a square. It's a bit too big, so we'll cut it down a bit. And cut it down to, oh, I don't know. Put it down that side, see what we've got. Yeah, it's about 3.5, something like that. That's the top. That's the bottom. So you can cut it down a bit. cut it into a square and affix the entire square to the front of your card. Where's my card base there? Like that. Or you can come around and actually cut all the way round just to give it a little border. You do want that little border though of black or a deep colour, because otherwise it doesn't show up very well. Try and make your border as close to the same size all the way round as you can. Of course, that's the fairly difficult bit to do, isn't it? Because you're doing it by eye and it is a bit fiddly. And the bottom. And then we'll glue that one on, and you can see it really stands out now, doesn't it? You don't have to make your church this way round, you can make it the other way round if you'd prefer. Let me just glue him into place. And then, and this might ruin the whole thing, if you want to, you can add across the top. I don't think I will, because this pen bleeds on this paper, but you can put a cross on the top of it if you wish. Or halfway up it, come to that. To make it obvious it's a church, but it does look like one, doesn't it? So there we go. I'm just going to do one more of those. Just cut this one out, I should say. Not brilliantly coloured, this one, but I think it will be okay. Go. Last couple of cuts. Cut it down a little bit. Cut it down. Cut it down. There we go. And glue it in. Again, make sure your card's opening the right way round. And near the bottom, otherwise it will cut right over the top. It's only just small enough to fit on here on a 4x4. But there we go. So that's all the cards, and I'll just tidy up, put everything away. And I can show you all the cards that I have made. There we go. So these are all the cards that I've made. Loads of them, as you can see. I've made some with ducks. I've made loads of them with ducks, actually. Quite a few of them with ducks. I've got some with the cross on. There we go. I've got, where is it? I've got my two church ones. I've got some with just stickers on. The church one. I've got the ephemera one. So you've got lots of different types of ephemera that you can use. But, and then we've got stickers galore, loads of them. I mean, that's technically a Christmas one, but I'm still using it for Easter. be filled with joy. It says, what a wonderful world. There's our butterfly that you saw me doing earlier. And God will come through. And on each side, on the inside of each, I've stamped Easter greetings. Or you can, if you like, you can print these out. You can do them on a computer, print out hundreds and just cut them all out and put them in. And on the back, I've put my logo. You don't have to. Sign your name if you want to. You don't have to. So there we go. 35 Easter cards, all ready for the vicar. Bye.